On now. Okay. Natalie, or who's handling this? Natalie? Okay. May we have a roll call, please? The meeting's called to order at 6:01.
Chairperson Phil Goldstein.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Marty Jost.
Here.
Commissioner Lisa Baird.
Here.
Commissioner Eric Westland.
Here.
Alternate Tom Wood. Alternate Jeremy Holt.
Thank you. Amendments to the agenda. We are adding officer elections to the agenda. That will be item, can we make that 6A? 6A, and then we'll bump Kern Street all the way down to B and C. Not that it'll hold things up for much longer. Okay. Jeremy, you will vote obviously tonight. Looks like we're down one regular and one alternate. We'll talk about when we get to reports, some changes to our membership here. Public comment, this is an opportunity for anybody who wishes to speak on anything that is not on the agenda. Do we have anybody, Natalie, signed up for general public comment? Okay, so we will close the general public comment. And there is public hearing on the item, what now be 6B and C. Consent agenda consists of approval of the March 15th, 2022 meeting minutes. Commissioners, any additions or corrections to the minutes? Like staff, anything? No? Okay, do I have them?
I move we approve this.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent agenda passes on a 4-1-2-5-0 vote. Item 6A, officer elections. Vice Chair Marty Jost and I are interested in serving as your vice chair and chair respectively one more year here. So unless anybody has any other comments on that, I get this wrong every year. We need a motion first to approve each position one by one, correct?
I move that we.
But and should probably just ask to see if anybody else is interested in if they'd like to be nominated or
Anybody interested in serving? No. Okay, just as I thought. I thought you do get the candy bowl in front of you. That seems to be the only reward for this. All right, so with that, you were about to say we would look at the vice chair's position first.
I move that we appoint Marty Jost as vice chair of planning commission.
I have a second. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations. We
And
need a motion on the chair.
I move that we appoint Phil Goldstein as chair of planning commission.
I have a second. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you all. Appreciate your support. Item 6B, next business item, 4001 Kern Street minor subdivision. Chad, I understand you have that.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. Let me pull this up. I do have this one. All right. So this is a minor subdivision application within the property of 4001 Kern Street. The subject property highlighted in blue is located at the southwest corner of Kern Street and 5th Avenue in Old Town Timnath. The property is zoned R1 for Old Town residential and consists of 7,100 square feet and includes an existing single-family detached residence to the south. This application proposes to create 2 lots from the existing parcel. Lot 1 will consist of 4,566 square feet of vacant land for a future single-family residence. And Lot 2 consists of 2,534 square foot, and it includes the existing residence. Both lots will comply with the Old Town residential dimensional standards and has been reviewed by staff. We have the owner and applicant, David Mannering, here in attendance. If he has anything he would like to say, or if commissioners have any questions for him. Otherwise, staff would be happy to answer questions.
David, anything that you'd like to add to what Chad just presented? Okay, why don't you come on up to the microphone? I imagine the commissioners will have some questions, and that way everybody eagerly tuned in at home around the world can hear everything that goes on here. So let's bring it up here. Commissioners, questions for David or staff?
I have some.
Marty.
So, a few questions. One is, I think this has come up maybe 2 or 3 times in the last few years, things like this. And the first question is if we keep doing this, are we still okay density wise? For what it's zoned.
Yes, so within the R1 zoning, there is not actually a distinction for a maximum or minimum density. So there's a little more leeway within this area. And since it was kind of pre-platted to have more lots, I think we are at this time are good with the density. If you have any other.
And is that, because of that R1 zoning, is that why they can subdivide lots like this?
I think mainly it's because the required frontage is a lot smaller within this zoning district. It's only 25 feet requirement, which these both will meet. So creating these smaller lots is really only applied within this zoning district at the time.
So like if one of the other neighborhoods, somebody had like an estate lot, could they subdivide?
The only way they could subdivide is if it meet the criteria for that zoning district. R1 zoning district, as Chad mentioned, has this uniqueness of the narrow lot widths and minimum lot size. And so the dimensional standards are to be consistent with like an Old Town plat kind of thing. So it is in keeping with the original plat of Old Town. And so that's why we're trying to allow for those things to move in that direction.
Yeah, because my only concern was, if we keep doing this with lots, do we turn that section of town into kind of this really high density mess?
There's a lot of small homes there already on either big lots or small lots. And so it's actually, I think from staff's perspective is it's kind of filling in some of the gaps and making it more of a Old Town, downtown kind of urban level density. So it seems to line up with what the original platting of Old Town was. And that's kind of the direction that folks can come in and apply for this kind of a thing. If planning commission wanted or council wanted to make a change, we'd have to go and change the land use code to affect that.
Okay.
I'm remiss. There is an opportunity for public hearing on this. And we didn't receive anything from anybody else, did we? There was the requisite public meeting. Not on this, wasn't required for this. Okay. Do we have anybody here? Okay, nobody. So we've opened now. We will close the public hearing on this particular item. Commissioners, any other questions? Lisa?
If this is approved in looking at some of those other lots, a lot of them, particularly on Kern Street, are narrow and long. And one of the ones we're considering later also is long. Can those lots then be further divided into narrow and two? Those long ones, can they be further divided into 2 lots?
It depends on the location. So if it's on the end like this, you could subdivide it. So you'd have frontage on the adjoining corner street. If it's in the middle, you can't subdivide front to back because you would end up with an alley loaded lot that doesn't have street frontage. So, you can't actually have a lot in the front and a lot in the back.
Okay, that was a question, because as it looks like you said, these are the last 2 remaining. And of course, we're seeing this on Dixon Street, and they're taking those lots that were 2, they're dividing and they're putting in the very, very narrow homes. But if they can't further subdivide that long, narrow because of the alley load, then this is really all they can do.
Correct. You can slice it down to a certain width, and that's as narrow as you can go. unless I could say like this one on a corner where you have two street frontages, it can be divided that way or the other way. kind
Yeah,
of thing.
vertical or horizontal. Okay.
As long as it meets the dimensional standards in both direction, width and depth.
Okay.
Does that R1 designation exist anywhere besides Old Town?
No,
Not the
it's
only place.
just Old Town.
Okay, thanks.
Commissioner Jeremy, anything? No? Nobody else? Okay. Chad, are we taking these two items? I know we'll vote on them separately. That present. Oh, okay. I see. All right. Phew. Okay, maybe you should have rescinded your election vote here. Is it too late for that? An impeachment, Don? Has there ever been? Okay, you would know, I would guess. Okay, all right, forgive me. All right, so we're item 6B only. With that, do I have a motion on item 6B?
I'll make a motion to approve 6B.
Okay, the motion was to approve 4001 Kern Street minor subdivision. Do I have a second on that? Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries on a 5-0 vote. All right, item 6C, 4021 Kern Street rezoning. Chad.
Thank you, Chairperson. We don't have to go too far for this one. This is a rezoning application for 4021 Kern Street. The property is owned by Jeff Hainsworth, who is on Zoom, and it was represented by Heidi Sheff from Studio S Architecture. Subject property outlined in blue is located in the western portion of Kern Street on the block between 5th Avenue and 4th Avenue. The vacant property consists of 7,853 square foot and is currently zoned B for business. This application proposes to rezone the property back to its original designation of R1 Old Town Residential for the intended use of a single-family residence. Additionally, this property conforms with the comprehensive plan future land use designation of downtown core, which allows for both business and the R1 zoning districts. Meets the development standards for the residential zoning district. And with that, I will turn it to Heidi for a brief presentation.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Heidi Sheff with Studio S Architecture. And so thank you for the presentation, Chad, and I think you summed it up pretty well. I'll just kind of give a little bit of background information on this particular property and the reasoning for requesting this rezone. So currently it's zoned business. It was originally zoned R1, and we just want to bring it back to its original R1 zoning. So a little bit of history. So it was previously a part of the property to the south, 4025 Kern Street, prior to its subdivision and then subsequent sale to the current owner, Jeff Hainsworth, in 2018. And so the original double lot was zoned R1, and it was changed in zoning presumably to allow the property owner to run their business from their home. Also, I think they had some other plans that they were hoping to do with the property that they ended up going in a different direction and subdividing instead. And so now we're left with a business occupancy kind of in a full block full of residential R1 zoning. So aside from 4025 Kern, the entire block face you can see on either side of Kern Street is zoned R1. Based on its current zoning uses and setbacks of the surrounding properties, it's our belief that R1 would be a compatible and complementary development for the area. So really, by rezoning, it would allow for us to construct a new single-family residence with a garage in the back with an ADU above that's going to be with complementary and and also reasonable setbacks based on all of the adjacent properties. So the biggest thing is the contextual setback. So the business zoning has much different setback requirements. And so what we want to do is be able to allow this property to have contextual setbacks in particular on the front yard setback, trying to hold that 15-foot. Basically, it's a little bit more difficult to see on the screen here, but along the block face on both sides, typically on the Old Town residences, you have a pretty straight line of the front of the residences that go up and down the street, and it forms this really nice context. And by pushing the building forward, which would be required under the business zoning, it's going to disrupt that. So in summary, the proposed rezoning would continue to promote the town comprehensive plan, as well as benefit the community by providing additional housing with a variety of housing types that is both within close proximity to the town amenities, as well as adjacent to the existing residential structures.
Anything else, Heidi?
That was all. Do you have
Okay.
any questions?
All right, so we see we have nobody here for public comment on this either, so we open and close public comment on this. Commissioners, questions for Heidi?
I don't have a question really for Heidi, but is 4025 a business, or is it just zone business that has a house on it?
It's zone business with a house on it.
With a business operating?
Nope. So is a single family residential.
I see, okay.
Yeah.
Did I read in the packet there's something about in the past this was zoned mistakenly?
No, so as Heidi had mentioned, in the past, the property owner, keeping in line with the downtown core of the comp plan, requested us rezone to business because there was an intent at that time to put a live work type situation on both of the lots for that. And that has since changed, but that was the reasoning why it was rezoned back in about 2016, 2017, was for the opportunity for that. That just never came to fruition.
Okay.
Anything else? Eric? No, Jeremy? Nothing else. Okay. All right. With that, do I have a motion on business item 6C 4021 Kern Street rezoning?
I move we approve the rezoning from business to R1.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Very good. Thanks, Heidi. Let's see, reports. So staff, I believe I'm correct at next week's council meeting on the agenda is to, or perhaps now was to elevate Tom Wood to a regular commissioner's position. And then to also to fill now the vacant, what would be the vacant alternates position with
Wendy
Newland.
Mhm.
Correct. Okay.
Yep, both of those actions are in the current agenda for the council next Tuesday night.
Okay. Very good. Any questions on any of that, commissioners? Anybody else? Dawn, anything going out of order here? Okay. Staff, planning staff, anything?
I don't have anything
Okay.
additional to you.
There will not be a meeting on May 3rd for those who did not hear at the beginning.
Okay.
Your glorious planning staff will actually be at the National Planning Conference. So
Sounds very
we're gonna
exciting.
We're going to be learning
What
lots.
is second prize is 2 visits to the National Planning Conference.
So yeah, there will not be a meeting that week.
Dawn.
This is actually a very dangerous time. Just telling you.
Okay, commissioners, anything else for the agenda? All right, on behalf of Marty and me, thank you for your confidence in us for another year here. We hope to fulfill our obligations. If I can. Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.